Hi, everyone. It's Angela Ward again, registered nurse, transformational coach, and CEO of Guardian of the Gateway, where we're helping folks who are struggling with burnout and overwhelmed to rediscover their passion and purpose in life. And it's another Monday's meeting. This week, we're going to talk about community. So, just a little housekeeping. If you're watching this on Facebook, please leave some comments. Let me know that you're here live. If you watch the replay, please put replay in the comments so I checked it out. I finally recovered from this whatever cold is going on. Well, mostly recovered, and I feel so much better. And one of my biggest takeaways was to remember to move at the pace of my breath. So I invite you also, as you're connecting with me or throughout your day, to slow down a little. Take your time to take a full breath in and out through your nose. And just allow any amped up energy to settle. Even if you're doing something that requires a lot of energy, working out, talking excitedly with someone you love, or whatever, talking politics even. Take time to slow down to the pace of the breath. I have some background music playing, which I think is a little loud, so let me turn it down. You guys can give me some feedback if it's a little too much, but so community. I've been bringing this topic forward. This is currently a focus of this month's work in the Full Spectrum Vitality Collective. And also, it's coming forward because I continually hearing from my clients, from my friends, my partner, and for myself that how much we miss the in-person connection that many of us used to thrive in our day-to-day life. And as we are in a very divisive time in our world, it's been increasingly difficult to maintain connections, especially with people finding places where we disagree so much. And yet, community is a crucial part of how we function in the world, how we as a human animal function. Everyone knows that we're social creatures and that our social connections are crucial to help us balance our neurotransmitters, to have healthy mental states, to even just have some meaning and joy in our lives. And my question to you is, how might we build in community? The reason this is up for me right now is we are facing a really difficult election in 2 weeks. Our world is in a very difficult place, not only politically in the United States, but climate change, with all kinds of COVID, of course. Homeschooling your kids, for those of you that are doing that, or for those of you that are working from home. Work and home have kind of blended into one giant office / laundry / dining room / all the things. It can feel very lonely, disconnected, and overwhelming. So as we move into this season, it's really important to understand that the ways that we're going to get through this is to find our tribe and to connect. We know there's so much evidence supporting the importance of your community and groups and connection. Community is a place where we can support one another through challenging times, where it's like a web, right? And if one thread is dropped, another can pick up the slack, so to speak. Hello, Nicole. I'm so glad you're here. So that part is really crucial, is that in a community, we can give each other support and connection. For example, I am in a little group that is something that's just for me. Uh, I'm loving it, and yet it's really hard for me to show up in this group because it's for me, it's not for you guys. For some reason, for you guys, it's so much easier for me to show up and serve. And I asked for help, and beautiful souls have shown up in this group to reach out and to offer me a lot of sweetness, just encouraging me to show up in the ways that I want to show up there. So that's crucial, I think, in groups, is that in our community, is that not only can we find support there, our community offer allows us to have or try on a newer way of being. And what I mean by that is, let's say, well, some of you may know about like Weight Watchers or Zoom or Noom, Noom, some of those groups that help people with a similar goal, weight loss. What allows us to happen in a group situation is we can show up there and we can try on being someone different. We can be someone who loses weight. We can be someone who exercises regularly. We can put a vision for ourselves into this group and have others support that vision and believe us when maybe we've failed in some of these challenges in the past. And sometimes simply that belief can truly help us like take that next step. Hi, Shelly. Thanks for joining. So that is a crucial component in this group, in community, is we have a chance to make new habits in the container of a group. We can try these things on. These habits actually occur in the presence of other people. So what I mean by that is I can hold accountability to myself to some degree, and in some areas of my life, and yet there are other places in my life where I don't have the best accountability. I'm not the best at doing what I say I'm going to do for myself. I don't know if anyone else has experienced that, but I have for sure. Yet, in the presence of other people, simply making an agreement to do something in the presence of this group or a community makes me do it. Another place that I'm in a group right now, I have a small little collaborative group of some cool friends, and we're doing this really interesting prosperity consciousness writing. It's just writing a little affirmation every day where we share it in the group. We just share that we've done it. We don't actually even like show each other what we've done. But there's something about this little community of we're attending to this particular thing that's helping me to move the needle in that direction. So I'm coming to you with this idea this week is now that COVID is here, we are home, fall is coming, the great dark is upon the Pacific Northwest particularly. How might we foster connection with community in these new times? So of course, one place is here in the Unveiled Vitality group, or for those people that work with me in the Full Spectrum Vitality Collective group, the paid membership group. We do have more opportunities for connection and community there as well. But there are other places that might have some really great meaning for you. What would make your connection make meaning for you? How could we support one another through this time? So some ways might include offering for check-ins. That's a really lovely thing. I know of some people that have just agreed to have work dates together, and it might be a Zoom work date, but they get on for a minute, they talk about what they're going to do, and then they check back in an hour where they're at, what they've come up against. They don't stay on Zoom the whole time. But having that co-created workspace is really lovely for those of us that can get together in socially distanced, safe ways. It's really awesome to take advantage of that to some degree. Yeah, but I'd also like to talk with you about what's missing, because I'm telling you, I'm definitely missing some parts of my community. I miss festivals were really awesome. I used to go work in psychedelic harm reduction in a number of festivals, and yet still be able to be with my beloved friends that would be there. I think that's what I miss, is the opportunity to just connect and drop in and hang out and not really have an agenda. And I think it's a little hard to have no agenda in digital space. I don't know, what do you guys think? So a couple questions I have this week for you, and I just want to also be really clear that when I talk about community, I'm not just talking about a digital connection. I'm not talking about just groups that have a shared vision of something that they're working on. Community can range from family, your parents, your siblings, your extended family if you have that, your friends that have become your family. That can also include if you go to any like church group, or if you have some kind of political affiliation group, or things where you would get together. I mean, I have some clients that I've worked with that are fishermen, and they would fish together. I also had a client who was part of a rowing club, and he rowed, and it was everybody in the club was more like friends, and they would get up really early and get out on the water and row and then hang out. So what's missing for you, and how might we creatively recreate some of that? It's a really good question. Another piece that I think I miss a lot is touch. And I'm not sure how many of you have had the opportunity to have touch in your community, but I've been really blessed to have some amazing people in my life that are very touch positive. And it's nice because that way I don't have to get all my touch from my partner. Excuse me, one moment. When we're working, or when COVID's not a thing, my husband's a massage therapist, so touches professionally. So touching me is really lovely, but it's also like he has a lot of his touch needs met, whereas I don't to the same degree. But I've had some lovely women in my life, particularly labor and delivery nurses or other just powerful badasses that give this sweet permission for touch together. I'm thinking particularly of my beloved Fern Moss, who is the officiant that married Jen and I, but she's also just such a permissionary. She does the meanest eye gaze too, by the way. And I mean, not meanest like mean, but like she will eye gaze into your soul with you. It's so powerful. But there have been times I've been together with those groups of women where we've been able to just snuggle together, make a puppy pile together, which is so, so sweet. If you don't have, here's a good idea. For those of you that have someone at home with you that don't have an opportunity for physical connection and touch in that way, one thing that can be really nice, even with a partner or with kids, is back-to-back connection. So I've done this a few times with my clients that have come over because we're trying not to get face-to-face in touch, but just getting your backs together and kind of leaning back to back or sitting on the floor together with your backs kind of pressed against one another can be super, super sweet and can just give you a chance to like rest on someone else. You can do a little forward and back bending. You can do a little side stretching. You can engage with your breath together. Which is a really, really healthy drop into your animal body practice. Another thing I've heard about recently, which I'm hoping to share more about in the group this week, in the Unveil Vitality group this week, is about a practice called havening. So I'm not versed in it exactly, but my impression is that it has to do with a lot of self-nurturing, self-touch. how I was introduced to it was in the book Good Chemistry by Julie Collin, which is a fantastic book and covers neurotransmitters and all this amazing stuff. And I highly recommend it. But she talks about the practice of holding yourself. Just really taking time to hold yourself and even to bring in some messages of that you are safe. I'm safe. I am held. I am loved. Those things can be so yummy. Just to take a little time to even stroke yourself. I mean, not talking sexually, although that all is welcome here, just not on camera. But just taking time to like just even pet yourself. I've heard people talk about petting your face a little bit, or petting your own kind of hairline. If you're watching this, you might even try this with me and just see how that feels. Notice if you can, like, if there's a petting or a holding sensation that feels like really grounding. So the practice is called havening, and I'll definitely post some more about that in the group this week. So yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on community right now. There'll be more during the week. And I'm also inviting in this idea of community because next week in the Unveil Vitality group, we're going to be doing the, what did I call it? The Resilient Wellness Workshop is starting next Monday at 8:30. And it's daily, it's 30 minutes. You can watch live, you can watch the replay. It's very similar to the one that we did in the summertime. So some of you, like Shelly, you've done it. There's a few other people that have done it, I believe. And it's just going to give us an opportunity to come together as a group with a unified intention of just building in some resilience just before we step into the election. So, you know, I don't care where you fall on the political spectrum. I do care. I'm just going to be honest. I do care. But I'll still love you, and I'll still, no matter what, we're going to get through this because it's not the only thing that matters, right? So we're going to spend this time over the next week just tuning back in, fine-tuning where we're at. Things have definitely shifted since the summertime, and we're moving to being more indoors and to get more creative about the ways that we engage with our body, and how we are taking care of it, nourishing it, resting it, all of those sweet things. And yeah, I'd love to have you join. If you have friends that you think would benefit from that, or you might like to do this journey together, please send me a message linking me up with them so I can introduce them, get them in the group, and get them set. There'll be a workbook that's coming out at the end of the week or the very beginning of the week before the workshop starts. So if you're participating, let's just make sure that you get one. There's going to be prizes like last time, so we'd love to have people play along and get some goodies. Yay! Yeah. All right, my friends, that's the topic for today. I will look forward to hearing how this lands for you, and take the best of care. All right. Mwah. Happy Monday. Bye.